space. They're homeless or they're living in a shelter. What would you say to them?
To never give up and stay confident.
Okay. And how about how they would be able to find their happy place and their freedom? Because you don't need to always have your own space. Freedom is a mentality. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe that freedom is a mentality?
Yes.
What is one freedom you couldn't live without?
Love.
Oh, man. That's it right there. Man, we could end the show with that one. Out the mouth of a 7-year-old, beautiful people. Out the mouth of a 7-year-old.
7.
Out the mouth of a 7-year-old. Isn't that crazy? Like he said, love. Love. That is so dope. That's a freedom I couldn't live without either. Do you want to know a freedom I couldn't live without?
Love.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, probably, yes, most definitely.
Parents?
Well, I think my freedom of speech. My freedom of speech would definitely be one of those things that I couldn't live without. Only because, let me explain why. Freedom of speech is what we're doing right now. We're able to start a podcast and in that podcast be able to talk about things without anybody persecuting us or sending us to jail or coming and hunting us down or really sending us hate mail and all that. I mean, everybody has to deal with some level of haters. You know what Mommy says? Mommy thinks that haters are just neglected groupies. So they're friends that you just stopped paying attention to and they need some attention, so they become haters.
Yeah.
So really you can turn all your haters into friends.
Wow.
If you just start hanging out with them and paying, people need love. And sometimes they want that love from you.
And sometimes they need food and water and drinks and food.
Yeah, sometimes people do need that. People need help. And the beautiful thing about freedom, some of the freedoms and some of the liberties we have as human beings is that when you get to be free to be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because in other countries, not everywhere, not all over the world, and not all throughout time have we been able to be free to be ourselves. In some countries, they're being persecuted just for what they believe, the things they say, the things they believe, how they look, how they dress, how they act, basically for being themselves, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think let me say this. How do you feel? Give me 3 things that you feel, that you're happy about being able to be free to be yourself about. Like 3 freedoms, 3 things about yourself that you're happy that you can do that you've had the freedom to be yourself in that particular area of life. Shoot. You go.
Okay, so what are you talking about again?
3 freedoms.
Okay.
3 things that you are happy that mommy and daddy gave you freedom to do and to be yourself about.
Help children and help them be happy so they can help other children, and also...
That's 1. So 1 is that I gave you the freedom to be able to help others and meet people. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 2.
Whoever is sad, I'll help them to...
Okay, what's the second thing you're glad I let you do? You glad I let you help people? What's the number 2?
Those are homeless people.
No, not like that. Not helping people.
I don't know this.
Okay, it's okay. You don't have an answer. That's fine. You go.
The first is that you were able to let me learn what stuff that I like to learn.
So I'm supposed to teach you this stuff? I am.
That's the first freedom I'm glad you let me have.
To learn?
Yes.
the way you need to learn, though, right?
Right.
Because you didn't always have to go to regular school. Sometimes you went to homeschooling.
Okay, yeah. The second freedom is to be able to travel the world.
Oh, that's a dope one, yeah. Well, thank you. And what's the third?
And the third is to be able to help cook and have the privilege to cook and learn that kind of stuff.
So learn life skills.
Yes.
Okay. Dope.
The first thing... No, this is the morning. First thing I'm glad for is for you to let me be your son.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really have nothing to do with that. That was up to the creator.
The second thing would be to thank you for being my own personal stress ball marshmallow.
I love it. So you're grateful for, one, being able to be born to somebody who loves you and cares for you as a mother. Two, and good parents, because I'm not the only one who cares for you. Two, that you growing up in a stress-free environment.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And three, what else are you grateful for that you have the freedom to do in this country that you might not have the freedom to do somewhere else?
So what's number
Number
three?
Would be able
So
to be who I want to be.
To be who you want to be. I love it.
me too.
Yeah, that's really important. Do you know what happens to kids who don't have the freedom to be who they want to be?
No.
And don't know that everything's going to be okay?
No. Just
They lose
no.
Yeah. Let's look up the statistics on that for all our listeners. Let's see. Depression statistics. Let's see. We go to Google on this. This is our portion of the show. We go to the Google.
No.
Okay.
It's right going to the internet.
No.
So yesterday we talked about yesterday we talked a lot about on the show about just the different ways that sugar affects your body and some of the things that we needed to think about in reference to having our children live their best lives, their healthiest lives, to making sure their frequency levels rise, to having them really, really acquire and ascend to a different level of consciousness and frequency levels. I know you guys don't hear my kids talking a lot, and it seems like they're talking around maybe in circles. But we're teaching our children something. We're giving them a voice. We're teaching them that their voice is important. And unfortunately, my kids are today not in a very talkative mode where they're able to really articulate and expand on the fact that they have a lot of freedoms. They want to do their hair. They have had so many different hairstyles, even as boys. And that they had every hairstyle that they wanted. I allowed them because it was their creative expression. They have their own personal style, but as far as clothing and sneakers and clothes is concerned, which they are allowed to express as long as it's respectful. There's no hanging pants off the butt or nothing like that or anything too tight. Because you ain't going to be wearing no jeans that look like they sweatpants, no sweatpants that look like they stretch pants up in my house. And you a whole live boy.
No.
All right? We ain't doing that. None of that foolishness. Okay? So, they've had a lot of things afforded to them and freedoms afforded to them for them to be able to grow up into their own personalities and really develop into these wonderful people. My son Divine is less spiritual and more, they're all three of my kids are really spiritual beings. However, Divine operates more out of logic, and Sincere operates more out of emotion. And my little nugget here, he operates a little bit out of both depending on just what day of the week it is. And so just that being said, all children think of things differently and come from a different place. And even though all of them are being raised in the same household, they all have had the freedom to be raised differently and in a way that best suits them and is going to best bring out the best in each one of them. And so the statistics on what happens, facts about mental disorders in U.S. children. Give me 1 second and I'll get right to you. Tony has something to say, y'all, and we're going to get right to him as soon as I finish reading these statistics on what happens when you don't give your children, children that suffer with mental disorders in the U.S. children. ADHD, behavior problems, anxiety, and depression are the most commonly diagnosed mental disorders in children. That is so sad, y'all. Boys, how do you feel about that? Tony, what do you have to say? How do you feel about the fact that there's so many sad kids out here in the world? Nothing.
Fine. Just
I mean, how do you feel about the fact that there's so many sad kids out here in the world? You said you like making people happy. You like helping people to be happy. But there's a lot of sad kids out here in the world. How does that make you feel? Does that make you sad to know that there's so many kids who are not happy?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay. You don't have strong feelings about it, but you do have a feeling about it.
Yes.
Okay. You, Sincere?
It's just like so sad and so disappointing. Like, I it's so sad I can't even make a comment about it.
Aww. So it kind of grieves your spirit, huh?
Yes, extremely. It's so sad that it sort of makes you want to play sad music. Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
also, it's so sad to make your
Makes
heart
you
explode.
emotional.
And also, it's too emotional to make your heart explode.
Aww. Yeah, I feel that way too. It grieves my spirit as well. Well, let's give the people the statistics, okay, guys? 9.4% of children aged 2 to 17 years of age, approximately 6.1 million children have received an ADHD diagnosis. Now that's sad because most of that has to do with what we're feeding our children, and I explained all that yesterday to you guys in the Think About It portion of the show this week in Freedom to think about some things. Give your children an opportunity to at least have the freedom to be healthy, the freedom to be happy and whole, and acquire that level of consciousness. 7.4 children, approximately 4.5 million children have been diagnosed with behavioral problems. For 4.4 million children have been diagnosed with anxiety. 1.9 million children have been diagnosed with depression. Oh my goodness, this is so sad. Depression and anxiety have increased over time. Ever having been diagnosed with either anxiety or depression among children aged 6 to 17 years increased from 5.4 in 2003 to 8% in 2007 and to 8.4% by 2012. So can you imagine what it is right now? That is so sad, you guys. I didn't even know the statistics was that serious on that. But you know what? We're not going to let that get us down. We're going to believe in ourselves here today and believe that. I just say to parents that you have to allow your children the freedom to really believe in themselves, like to really develop into whom they were going to be for the rest of their lives and let their personalities develop kind of organically. It's not our job to make them be somebody. It is our job to kind of guide who they are in the most productive way they can. Yes, Tony?
I didn't get to do the 3 things.
Okay, your 3 things?
Okay. only did one. Now the second one is